This might be one of the most exciting cars I've driven this year that isn't some insanely expensive supercar. The new Hyundai IONIQ 5. And first of all, it looks like a spaceship, or like it came out of a video game. The design of this thing, from the square daytime running lights and headlights, to the wheels, come around the side to the back, check out the taillight design. This thing is so awesome. And watch this. So it's just in my driveway now, but I can hold on the key fob this to turn it on. And then if I press this button, yeah, I'm not in the vehicle. Nobody's in the vehicle, and it's driving backwards right now. This is a remote control car. It's for parking. And then I can go forward. Nobody's in there, I promise you. Look. Yes, I'm just walking my Hyundai IONIQ 5. And we're gonna stop, because I wonder, actually, we're gonna test something right now. What if I come in front? Oh wait, it stopped. Okay, it stopped, I'm still holding it. I get to drive some pretty cool things, but in terms of more mainstream, affordable, attainable cars that have some really cool innovation, this Hyundai already has me really excited. I've only spent a day with it. We're about to head into the office right now, and we're gonna spend a whole week living with the IONIQ 5 and seeing what it's like. This video has been sponsored by Recurrent. They are a company that provides electric car battery performance reports. Why do you want this? Well, when you're looking to shop or own an electric vehicle, you kind of want to know how your battery is doing or what the state of it is already at. With internal combustion cars like gas or diesel, mileage was really the big determining factor. With the wearable components and the complexity of an engine, electric cars are a lot more simple, and the battery pack is a big unknown, and it's really important. They're quite expensive. I don't even know the state of the battery in my iPhone or my laptop, and a car electric vehicle battery is definitely a lot more expensive and important. So they have 3 different kinds of reports. The first one is like an owner one. If you have the vehicle, you'll get an update once a month. First week in the month, you get a really nice detailed report. We'll talk about that in a moment. Second one is a one-time snapshot. If you're looking to buy an electric vehicle, you want to know what's the possible state of the electric vehicle that I'm trying to buy, how's the battery life, and so forth. And the last one's for dealers, where they can generate bulk reports for all the electric vehicles in their inventory. Why is this a big deal? Why is this important to know? Well, it answers some really important questions. One is, what is the actual real-world range you can expect out of your EV? It's often really hard to get close to the estimated rated range, because those are like done under the most ideal circumstances, the perfect weather, the perfect driving conditions, the perfect road. So real-world circumstances don't always match that. Also, the effect of temperature and the weather, seasons, summer versus winter. You'll get a lot better range in summer. EVs don't like the cold. With winter, you'll definitely have less performance and range, and how much of a degradation is that, we don't know. And also, what's your range going to be like in 3 years? What is the battery health projected out in 3 years of driving of your EV? So Recurrent can help you answer some of these questions. You'll get this really cool report. This is an example one I have on my phone, and I'll pull it up on the screen. That shows you things. This is another 2022 IONIQ 5 as an example. Not this exact one, but a similar report that you would see for one of their supported vehicles, and shows things like insights on your range, your battery charging. You're not supposed to charge it to 100%, so there's like an ideal range. I just charged this, it's showing 97%, so that wasn't ideal, and apparently that's true for like most batteries. So you can track things like that. And lastly, some insights on your potential future range, looking at other data points and things like that. Recurrent is free, and it's only available in America. But if you're international, don't despair. There is a wait list for it. If you own an electric vehicle or you're looking to buy an electric vehicle, definitely check out Recurrent, because they provide some really awesome insights into the state of health of your battery, the performance, and that's a really important factor whether you own or you're looking to buy an EV. So when the car is locked, you approach it. It senses. The mirror's folded out, the door handles fold out, and check out this interior. EV start stop. These double digital screens across the dash remind me of Mercedes does. They've got light mode. 92%, range is showing 221 miles. I was driving home in sport mode yesterday. We have a drive mode button that goes between Eco, Sport, Normal, and if I hold it, it would go into snow mode. That square pattern grid texture is echoed all over the exterior and interior, on the seats, on the door trim there, even on the steering wheel. We don't have the Hyundai logo here. We have 4 little square dots. The drive selector is kind of funky too. You rotate down for reverse, up there for drive, and there's a button on the end for park. If we go into drive, there we go. You see more of that little square design element. Also, we have a nice overhead view camera, and then when you go on the drive, it renders the car in real time in the space. Pretty cool. This interior is so open, airy, and spacious because it's built as an EV. I mean, there's no center tunnel here, so this is just open space storage. Look at the center console opening here, and it feels super open. It's like halfway between a crossover hatchback-ish size, so I think it might be qualified as a crossover, but it's so nice. It plays calming, peaceful, like marimba noises when you turn it off. Charging port is on the passenger side. We press that. See more of those little square shapes, or I guess all squares are shapes. If we lock it, it will also lock the charging port, so we can't unplug it.
Charging started.
There's a woman's voice that speaks through the speaker that tells you charging started. That startled me the first time I heard it. This is pretty cool. I just got to dinner and parked next to a previous generation Hyundai IONIQ, and it's not really comparable. The styling on the new one is so much cooler and futuristic. It's bigger too, quite a bit bigger. You can see how much taller the roofline is. They both have those aerodynamic wheels for efficiency around back. It's just not really comparable anymore, so I guess it's good. They're moving in the right direction. They're getting much cooler, way better technology. And this one still just looks like a concept car, man. This thing is awesome. So this vehicle is really, really interesting. It has some awesome innovations, and I think holistically all around for the value, the price, and what you get, it's one of the best EVs you can buy right now. Let's start with the styling. It looks awesome. Like, it looks like a little spaceship or it came out of a video game. It's got what Hyundai calls the paramedic pixel lighting or things like that. It's all the little square lighting shapes and motifs and the patterns and the grille, the rear lights, and that pattern is echoed all over the vehicle. We have this like V-shaped front hood and the nose area too. And overall, like the shape of the vehicle is kind of more like a lifted wagon hatchback to me, although it's technically called a SUV sort of crossover. So it's got some good ground clearance, but it's not massive. The wheelbase is actually the longest wheelbase in the Hyundai US lineup. It's longer in wheelbase than the Palisade, but shorter. The Palisade's the big like 3-row crossover SUV thing. So it fits in an interesting size. It's not super tall, it's not super small, but styling wise, it just looks so cool. Unlike anything else on the road, I can say that with confidence. And it definitely is distinctly like, oh, that looks like it's not an internal combustion gas vehicle. It's some sort of crazy EV. So styling is sweet. The 20-inch like multi-spoke wheels, the taillights out back, the light bar, little square accents and everything is awesome. In terms of some of the technology innovation, so the highway drive assist and all the other lane keep and everything, it has a very robust amount. The self-driving amount is using the fob to pull it forward and back out of a space. It won't turn, but it will go front and back. It's designed to like get you into or out of a really tight space or parking garage. I fiddled around with it just for fun. I haven't had to park it in a super tight space, but just trying it out, it works pretty good. You use the key fob standing outside, turn it on, and then it starts driving forward and back, which as a party trick is hilarious. I definitely shocked some friends. They're like, what in the world? And I just thought it was really cool. But there are definitely some real world use cases. Innovations on the interior. This is a very, very spacious and open interior with a really cool design. Nice uses of materials. It's all eco-friendly. Apparently this on the left side is supposed to be, right to the left side of this giant double 12-inch screen is magnetic for like, I don't know, if you want to stick a note on there or something. I saw that on the press release. We got 2 giant digital display screens, which are very nice. They work great. Wired CarPlay and Android Auto, so no wireless. We do have a wireless charger. The center console moves front and back. This goes up and down. The driver's seat will full recline with a leg rest that comes up, which is really nice. 2-spoke steering wheel, different drive modes, shift by wire for Prindle, park, reverse, neutral, drive. I don't like the touch panel for climate because, like, to go to my heated seats, you gotta, like, fiddle with the touchscreen. So, wish there were still some physical buttons there. But overall, the interior of the new IONIQ 5 is really, really cool. Modern, minimalistic, without being too sparse. You look at, like, a Tesla Model Y, there's nothing in it. You don't even get a dashboard, and I personally don't like that interior. Material qualities definitely feel nice too. Really cool leather. Got more of that square pattern here. Ambient lighting, a pretty good sound system. So overall, I think the IONIQ 5 interior is spacious, practical, innovative. Overall, just pretty awesome. And then driving. This is the all-wheel drive double motor one, so it's zippy. It makes like 440 something pound-feet of torque, so it gets up and goes 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. The rear-wheel drive version is the single motor, two-wheel drive. You get better range, but a lot less power. It's in like the 200-ish horsepower, 250 I think, and 250 something pound-feet of torque, but that's how you get over 300 miles of EPA estimated range. With this bigger motor, or bigger double motor, it does 256 miles of range, which is also pretty good. It can do 10 to 80% charging in 18 minutes on the ultra-fast charger. You can also plug in this accessory thing and charge another vehicle or run accessories or plug in and charge your laptop. There's another one in the back seats there too. Driving-wise, it's pretty isolated. It rides pretty well. Does it feel sporty per se? Not exactly. It handles its weight pretty well. It's pretty zippy, but I wouldn't really try to use this as like a sporty crossover or SUV. Whereas the Mach-E, I think, tries to do that a little bit more, rides a little firm, has a little more of that sporty character for the Mach-E. I personally would take this over an ID4. I haven't spent a ton of time in the ID4, but the ID4 interior was annoying to me. And I think this looks cooler. It brings a lot of cool touches, too. Here, I'm in regular mode. Let me go to sport mode. Sports mode! Woo! So that's good. That's pretty good mid-range pull. Smooth, silent, obviously, with all EVs. Top speed, I think, is like 114 miles an hour. That's not really that important, I think, for something like this. So overall, I think the IONIQ 5 has been really cool. I've enjoyed my week living with it so far, and I definitely want to spend some more time with this and get even more in-depth because there's so much to figure out. Every time I take it out, I was like, oh, cool, that's something new. Like, I opened the trunk earlier and was like, oh, there's this extra thingamajig down here where you can have the extended V2L, whatever it's called, for running other accessories and things like that. We have pretty cool door sill plates with that grid pattern and then IONIQ 5. Look at the way the Q is made. Again, that little square echoed all over this vehicle. We are heading off to the Chicago airport because we have a flight to catch to Vegas to drive the all-new Nissan Z. Quite excited. And because it's a short, like, one-day trip, I ran the numbers, and it makes more sense just to take the Hyundai and park it than to take an Uber there and back. It actually would cost less. We have a flat load floor, but it's decently high. So, like, they call this an SUV, but it's more like a crossover lifted wagon to me. We do have a cargo cover here because of the rear glass. This way you can hide what's back here when you close your trunk. I still just love the design of this thing. The white lettering over this entire grid. So these are the lights. It's so cool. And then, what are these? I don't even know what those are down here. Those might be the reflectors, actually. And then these wheels, this mesh pattern, clearly for aerodynamics. Like, there's not much open space there. But they fit the overall design of the car. Even on the wheel arch, look at these cuts. These angular cuts. And then more of those lines along the side. Oh, it sensed my approach, so it opened the doors for me. And then, ooh, do we have a front trunk? That's a good question. Maybe it is storage and it just doesn't have electrical. Oh, nope. There's your EV engine. That actually looks the same as you would find on an internal combustion engine cover, like an Audi RS6 has the same looking engine cover. So yeah, you see some orange high voltage cables down in there. So no storage in the front trunk of the IONIQ 5. Here's something I don't love. You see this whole panel? That's a touch panel. So again, no feedback, nothing. You just have to look down to make sure you're touching it. And then, like, it's just not as easy to use. Like, if I want to turn my heated seats on, there's no button right here. I could tap climate and pull it up on the screen. And oops, I tapped it again. And then now I can go to, wait a second. Instead, I go to all these little tiles and go to warm ventilation. So heated seat, heated steering wheel, and I can turn my heated seat. It also has cooled seats. I can turn it down, go to cooled, but right now, go to heated. But like then you go home and back home again. Like it doesn't have it right directly in front of you. Not that I found. So that's a little bit annoying. Watch this. There's a leg rest. Look at that. Got like a front lounge seat. Oh. Okay, I am now like almost lying flat. So this is how the paddle shifters on the steering wheel work. You see the plus on the left side, the minus on the right side, and then in the corner of the dash by the battery percentage, it says level 1 now. It's how much regen braking there is, and there are a ton of different settings. So if I go plus, it goes to level 2, plus level 3, and then once more is I pedal, which is like the one pedal driving. Then if I pull the right pedal, which is minus, it will reduce the amount of regen braking all the way up to 0. And then I think if I hold this one, there's an auto setting, but also a max setting. So there's like 5 or 6 different versions of this. But it's all something you can control on the fly while you're driving and experience different amounts of regen. So whatever you're comfortable with. I played around with a bunch of different ones, and when you let off the go pedal, it just starts decelerating pretty aggressively when you're in the one pedal driving. When the fisheye lens warps and the Honda Odyssey looks gigantic and terrifying. This does help parking, especially the overhead view. The 3D render gets a little funky when you're close to vehicles. So in the back we've got a wall charger, and then in here we have, it's called V2L. I think it's called Vehicle to Load. Trying to open the zippered bag one-handed is actually kind of challenging. Come on. And effectively allows you to plug in this to the charging port and run other electronics. So you plug that in, and this opens up down here, which would let you plug in whether it's a small appliance or something, or laptop, or this can actually apparently also charge another electric vehicle if you need to tether it there. So using the onboard battery of this vehicle to run something else. The back seat is also pretty spacious. The front seat, I think, is actually even further back because this has comfort access where the seat slides back when you park it, moves forward when you hop in. So I've got good leg room here. The rear seats also will recline. There's a handle here to the left, the 60-40 split. So it's pretty comfortable back here, pretty spacious. On a full 100% charge, we're showing 267 miles of range, which is actually a little optimistic. This one's rated at 256. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Lots of pleasant noises. In terms of pricing, this model here is a limited all-wheel drive, which is pretty well optioned already with a price right around $55,000. So it's actually a reasonably priced, attainable electric SUV crossover wagon thing in the marketplace with a lot of really great features, a really cool design, and respectable range between 250 to 300 miles. All-wheel drive is available here. I really like this thing, and I think at $50-something thousand, it stands to be a pretty good value in the world of pure EV crossovers and SUVs. So there we go, a quick week spent with the Hyundai IONIQ 5, the pure electric SUV from the Korean brand. I'm really impressed. This, I think, is one of the best all-around pure electric vehicles and one of the coolest cars I've driven, with a lot of really nice innovations, really unique touches, great materials, awesome styling. It honestly looks so cool, like a little spaceship on the road, and some design cues that feel like they took a concept car and turned it into a production vehicle. So really impressed with it, really enjoyed my week driving with it, and really want to spend some more time with it to learn more about what it's like to have and live with. So this is the Hyundai IONIQ 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Thanks for watching.